Damn thing is expensive.
The only thing I
Every
can say
goddamn
since
thing.
the pandemic, the price stayed the same, and you're gonna laugh at me for this, but it's Olive Garden.
You
They prices did not go up
better know your motherfucking
from there.
restaurant. He's so irritating. He's
It
so
didn't.
irritating. But you know what? To me personally,
And it was the same
the
price that it
food
was
quality
pre-pandemic.
ain't the same to me though as it used to be. It could have been that chef specifically though. That's where Doug old job was
Down
at.
below.
And we wait, what? Say that again.
I'm also thinking like this is roof where I did like my birthday 2 years ago. And it was made it's open to the public, but like we basically took it over because I had like 50 people there.
As we will.
And they're open on Sunday too. And they open at 11, like 11 to 7.
See, 11 to 7 is perfect timing. See,
But I got so wasted there. They like
maybe they won't remember.
they probably. But I puked in the bathroom. The manager was like, yes.
Cause you puked in the bathroom. That was a problem.
Yeah.
Did you make it into the toilet though?
I think I did. I really don't remember that part.
I'm gonna redo y'all intro.
I was gonna say we need to redo the song.
Cause like 3 or 4 of my shows, you can change their songs.
Yes, we need to change the song. We need to make sure we talk about that while we discussing days and times. We need to kind of refresh and reformat a bit.
Mm. Season 3.
Is it 3 for
It
y'all?
will be. No, this is the end of season 2. It's been
Probably,
3 months.
probably because Donnie was always on the Joey show.
Yeah,
That's
because I
probably
was
gonna be
thinking like we've
Joey.
been doing this since, well, being on this podcast since like October because when Ken was in town in October for Halloween, we were on Joey's show, you and I,
Hmm.
and then we shot our pilot in December, the three of us. So doing this for a minute.
I'm proud of y'all.
My
Period.
dad and his girlfriend was listening to us. I thought that was weird.
That
They
is.
called me Rolanda and shit. I'm like, bro, like I don't need y'all to be knowing me like this.
First of all, who the fuck is Rolanda?
Oh no, I know who Rolanda is. Unfortunately, oh so her
um,
show didn't last long.
I thought you were talking.
Oh, her. I know. Okay.
Yeah, it was, it was a real show, a real talk show.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, the black lady
Mm.
with the accent.
She was
Uh-huh.
southern.
No, she was like she had like a UK or English Cockney accent, didn't she? You told me show today.
No, she, she talked like that. Like she was the chick from Sister that dated Ray, the gold digger who's
Yeah.
like who stole his business or whatever. Yeah, she talked like that. Oh Ray, like she drag her words and shit. That's how she talk in real life. How wonderful, fabulous, girl.
Wait, what?
You want to see up top.
What? All I heard was like my name Ray. I'm like, wait, what?
Like, calm down, bro.
He do need to stop being at the top of the key
It's
though.
because of who he's holding. Like,
Y'all
before
talking
y'all
about her?
came in, Barkley said they need to get, they actually need to take Brooke Lopez out of the game and play with a smaller, faster club because they running this pick and roll that's leaving the point guard to just eat the. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they still in the game.
Yeah, like yeah, change them up a little bit. Like
See, that literally that's what
yeah,
they running right there.
Every
Because
time.
Brook is not stepping out or stepping up, so he's getting
Like a pussy.
easy.
yeah, dog has just been eating.
I used to, man,
True.
I used to play Fearless in the bitch.
I can't even see you hooping.
I just bust Doug and Sky asses at this place. I can't remember the name of it. But we did like football, bowling, and basketball connect four, and I bust their asses in both. And they both Doug plays football every Sunday, and Sky plays basketball every week as well. And I bust both their ass. I ain't played in over 10 years in my Nike flip flops. I do not play about my
You know what? Y'all
sports.
starting in August might actually work out because I should be moving to the townhouse by then. So it wouldn't even matter if somebody else was recording at the same time because it's gonna be two or three different setups. So it's time for you to do your cooking episodes. You got a whole kitchen, fam.
Sweet. I need to get my camera and stuff, my little microphone set up. That'll actually work well with my school too. My schoolwork.
What, doing your homework?
Mhm.
Doing it in the studio?
Yep, just gotta make sure I take pictures of it to turn in.
Yeah, you in the kitchen. Just clean up after yourself is all I ask. All right,
You
you
got
ready?
to. A real chef always does.
Hello, everybody. You are tuning in to Horizontal Refreshments. It's weird not to see us on the screen and the books instead. But yeah, you're tuning to the wettest podcast around, and it is Wednesday, and it is our last episode of the season. And if you didn't know by now, Jamal P.
Jamal P.
I am Zani Zan Akeem, whichever you prefer.
And Britt Brass short and sweet.
We're here on a nice little warm, chilly Wednesday night in the studio, and like I said, it's our last episode, and also the Bucks are playing right now. And we are watching it in the studio, so it will probably be a lot of reactions and mixed things happening.
I not really big on basketball until it's like the end. Like I might watch like the playoffs when it's the last two teams, but I don't find like it's not intense enough for me to just watch it on a like regular basis. Wait, this is the Bucks in Atlanta are the last.
Last one for the Eastern.
For the Eastern.
No, no, no. I'm talking about the playoffs, like the end of it. Like I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
Like when it's only two teams. Period. That's it. Just two. Period.
Just,
Hopefully it's
well, for all conferences, huh?
So I don't even know. Only person I know is Giannis. I don't know what's going on. I know the Bucks are losing by one. And that's a well, I guess that's pretty normal for a third quarter score. I was gonna say that's pretty low, but
I said that earlier. I'm like, it's like a low score, but I was like,
yeah,
I guess.
because they still got because quarters are 12 minutes, right?
Yeah. And by the time it's fourth, they'll be in their 80s and 90s. So
Yeah. So yeah, but
I don't really like to watch basketball since Kobe died. It's been a little. It's kind of rough for a thug.
yeah, I felt the way earlier. I didn't even watch it all, but just knowing that he's always associated with foolishness, Kodak Black was talking about something to do with Kobe, and I kind of just felt the way to the point I didn't even play it. I'm like, this man probably said something ignorant that's gonna
He
irritate me.
typically does, and that's why I
So,
just refuse to even listen to his music. You know how I get down.
child,
I thought there's a couple people like that. I can't think of them off the top of my
Boosie's
head.
another one. The
oh
way
my
he talk
god,
about D Wade daughter,
Bootsy,
I don't
Kodak.
respect that.
it's
50
a few
Cent,
other
that's
ones.
another one I
Who?
boycott.
50 Cent. Oh yeah, 50 Cent. Lord,
Mm,
Does 6ix9ine fall in that category?
I think so.
I like 6ix9ine.
Oh, that's so nice. I could never fuck with a snitch ever in life.
my thing
Not that kind of
is,
snitch.
my thing is, I guess it's different when you're in organized crime because if I'm accused of murder or killing someone or something like that, and I'm facing time, and you think I'm if I didn't do it,
That's why I wouldn't be a part of it in the first place,
right,
though.
exactly though,
Because I'm already know going into the shit that I'm gonna snitch, goddamn it. So let me not even fuck with this in the first goddamn place. And that's what his little punk ass should have did with his
and I
little
think.
rainbow hair.
And what Cardi B said something along those lines during the time that happened. She's like, if you're a regular civilian and you're abiding by the law, like when I got robbed, I went to the police, like, excuse me, like this what he looked like, and this what he was wearing, and all thing like that. And she was like, that's acceptable, but when you sign up to be a part of
And you
organized
signed up to
crime,
be a part of that
you sign up
shit.
to the. It's like having a job. Like I can't do what I want to do at work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Otherwise, you
signed
risk
up for
losing
this
your
shit.
job. So they give you the rules when you sign your onboarding papers.
Right, I agree. Yeah, and he signed his life away. However, he did that. I don't know if he had to beat somebody up or kill somebody.
Probably not.
Child, I think he got in because of his money, and that's why he didn't take it serious. Because I don't think he ever had to like do the regular like gang initiation stuff. So he was let in because of his coin, but that's also their fault for allowing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they should have made him put in some type of work.
Do y'all care about people who collab with him or are cool with him?
Well, I don't like Nicki Minaj already before the collab, so that didn't do nothing. That didn't help or make it worse.
I think that we forget that the music business is just that. It's a business.
Yeah.
And if she obviously profited from the business and got her second number one. So my thing is
Talk about
she didn't sign up for that either. So that doesn't
Mhm.
She did, but like I said, I disliked her before then, so that wouldn't affect her.
Yeah.
now, but she told him that in the live. She said, now my dude, her dude, Kenneth, he doesn't like 6ix9ine and doesn't like what he did or whatever. She's like, but I'm not a part of that life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sign up to be a gangster. So
Yeah, she
you know.
signed up to do this music.
Exactly. She's a part of the music business.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately for her, I already didn't like her, so it just
But my thing
didn't
is, if we're going to
make a
put this
difference.
emphasis on her working with people, we have to realize that the head,
I said her because
the
I don't know
head.
his songs. That's the literally
I
the
just said
only
people who
I've
collab with
ever
him.
known.
Because I'm just saying, like the
So
head,
that's
one of the
why
head
it's focused
CEOs
on
at Rock
her.
Nation, who works with Jay-Z, Meek Mills, and a lot of other greats, was an informant. So if we're gonna carry that
Wasn't
energy,
knowledgeable about that either, so I can't speak on that. So
I was saying
It wasn't public. Well, it probably was public.
it was public. It was very publicized back in 2009 when it
well,
happened.
you know, you was the one who liked to read up on that type of shit. At that point, you used to read up on shit so much, I refused to do it because you used to get on my fucking nerves. So I did not know, sir. But had I known, you know, I hold everybody accountable.
Well, you know now, so
I hold everyone
Meek
accountable.
Mill,
I still
Jay-Z,
don't know no actual details to speak on
I'll
this.
send them to the group.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
And, you know, for me, I never really take it that seriously because I'm gonna listen to what I listen to, and
Period.
I'm
I'm sorry, even when it
but-
comes to R. Kelly, I do not
I knew he
support
was
that
going
type
there
of
with
stuff
it.
either. But I mean, I grew up on R. Kelly. His music is literally ingrained in my brain, and I'm not gonna stop listening to R. Kelly because of that. I'm not gonna stop watching the Cosby Show because of the accusations against Bill Cosby. I'm not gonna stop listening to T.I. because of his accusations.
What's his accusation?
You ain't hear about the
He
chick
got a
saying-
whole lot of stuff going on right now.
And something with a
And this is
pistol.
currently
he pistol
going
whipped
on. He
one of them or
pistol
something. This
what
is
it-
current right
yeah,
now.
What did
This-
Tiny say?
Tiny is accused as well.
Tiny is accused.
They're both accused.
They accused Shekinah. They accused Candy. They accused everybody close to them.
So, but it's a whole rank of.
On God.
Right.
Like,
Major in
I'm
the money
surprised.
has something.
Look, you see, Nelly ass ain't been seen with him for years. He
Right.
must have sniffed this out coming or
Right.
something.
It was a whole little rank, which I mean, I don't put the. Right.
Child.
I don't put, not that I'm saying these things, but like I guess in this lifetime we are so rich. Like, we see movies of it all the time. So I don't necessarily put it past that these things potentially are happening. Like the rich, the powerful, the politics, sex trafficking. Like there was sex trafficking happening down at the Pfizer that my friend who's there like texted me. She was like, I think I just witnessed like some sex traffickers and things like that. So they happen at these big major events. Super Bowl is one of the biggest sex trafficking things. So I mean, I guess I'm not saying that he did it or whatever. We'll hear, but it's like if it was, I would be like,
Not surprised.
not
Right.
surprised.
Oh. Mhm.
Yeah,
It would
and
be
I
some
get.
fun.
I don't know like what reaction I'm really like. We really supposed to have about certain stuff. Like I guess as humans though, we do pick and choose what's a big deal.
I said we pick
Yeah.
and choose though because I was honestly sitting here and thinking that I stopped listening to R. Kelly. I couldn't. Like I just can't stomach a lot of the music no more. Although I grew up on it as well. It's very nostalgic to me as well. I personally can't do it. Sometimes I feel like it's because I'm a mom. Other times
Mhm.
I have other reasons as well. I just can't do it. But I don't. I feel like a lot of people bash people that still listen to him, and I don't think that's right. Now
I can
that's
see
what I
that,
will
yeah.
say. I never bash him for still listening to him. You can listen to whatever the hell, even if I'm sitting there. I think he's played an R. Kelly song while I was there. That's fine too.
I'm just not gonna turn him on in her house because I respect her.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, just don't play it.
Exactly.
Vice
You know what I'm
versa.
saying?
He's not gonna be like, hey,
And we
Johnny, hook up to the
good,
music.
You know?
Like R. Kelly.
I hear
Whatever,
you
whatever.
calling.
But I just can't do it. But I was
don't listen
thinking
to
like,
R. Kelly not because of the situation. Well, part of it, but it's more so now that I found out what inspired you to write certain songs, it makes it difficult to listen to the ones I don't know about.
But see, when I hear that rebuttal, to me, I think that art is subjective. So you may have intended for your art to be about a certain thing, but the way that I receive it and the way that I look at it, like I don't think about little girls or little boys either when I hear certain songs. I did watch them.
And I think that's where the problem with me is because the story specifically said, hey, while he was recording this song, this is what was going on.
Right.
So now you go back and you hear that song, and even though it might
Right.
mean something to you, that's now stuck in
and
the back
that's
of
the
your head.
reaction that I had. Although I understand yours,
I understand your
I understand being able to separate it or whatever. That's the reaction I had.
No, I mean there is one song, and I separated it so much I forgot which one it is, but it's a song he wrote for Michael Jackson.
Yes.
You Are Not Alone.
Ooh,
Now
child.
that one I can't listen to.
Ooh, that is definitely the main one I can't listen to.
Not Asian number.
No.
He
that
wrote
was
for
the
Aaliyah.
one. It's on the list, but that one is at the top.
You Are
That's
Not
number
Alone.
one.
I Am Here With You, speaking about like a 13-year-old. Like,
story behind it, like, bruh,
right.
Man.
it's the MJ.
Man.
But my other thing though too is that like we don't hold the same caliber to some of the newer artists who like I don't hear all of this
Or white people.
like
I agree.
Tyga. Like
What he
where's all
do?
this? He was dating Kylie when she was 16. He was
I
25.
did speak about that.
Like,
I spoke about that.
I really don't listen to Tyga, so that's
I guess he's not as big as R.
No.
Kelly, so it's not as big of a
Yeah,
deal.
it's not as big, but I spoke about that. I don't discriminate.
Yeah. And the same accountability doesn't happen for certain new, and also like white people as well. I mean, there's plenty of white celebrities.
Oh, don't get me
musicians.
now. That I have especially spoken out about.
They
Nick
love
Cannon.
that
Nick
social
Cannon
media.
spoke about that as
Yeah.
well too.
Elvis to be one of the main ones all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Nick Cannon talked about that on his podcast. Like, he definitely, because he's someone who worked with R. Kelly. R. Kelly wrote Gigolo and like, Feeling Freaky, whatever. Nick Cannon's, I guess, best songs.
Or whatever.
And he didn't agree with it. He has, but it was like, he just wants kind of the same energy for these white
Can I ask y'all a
celebrities.
question
we
about
don't care.
like?
We as black people don't care about the white artists. That's why you're not getting the same energy.
Mhm.
No, I think that they're
Like-
starting to care because it's like, why you always trying to cancel the black person? You always trying to
That's
cancel
how
a
I
black
feel.
man. Let's talk about what the white man doing too, because
No, I
black
say
men not
let's
the
get
only ones
everybody.
doing it. Let's get them
White,
all.
black,
I mean, I'm
Mexican,
not
pink,
saying
purple.
don't get rid of them, but like, let's be honest, the generation that's canceling R. Kelly didn't give a fuck about Elvis.
True. They probably never heard
Like,
an
they
Elvis
never
song
heard
in their
a song.
life.
Child,
Like,
this,
That's a good
that's
point.
the difference. We don't. Some of the white folks who need to be fucked, we don't really fuck with them anyway. So that's why we're not in an outrage of them. White folks got to be in an outrage of them, but
But it's hard because then the white folks
But
are
let's
also
be
outraged
honest, because
about
the
R.
white
Kelly.
folks be doing weird shit that they don't look at it as being a bad thing.
Did they fuck their cousins?
And it's
So-
okay.
So I have a question before we get into the main topic. But actually,
Right,
this is a good tie-in to the main topic. I can tie it in. I can segue it in. I can segue it in. But I still had a question though. I know that you said you respect different people's point of views and things like that, but I just want to know your specific thoughts on like what Kate Michelle had to say about R. Kelly.
What she
What
said?
did she have to say about
it
R. Kelly? I
depends.
didn't see. I was wondering
It
what she
depends
had
on
to
which-
say. Please tell me.
It
So
depends on
what
which
Kate
moment.
Michelle said that she doesn't agree. Obviously, they all have to start by saying that. But she said that she cannot hate that man or put too much on him because he gave her an opportunity and he was a mentor to her. So she just feels like I can't jump on this bandwagon. I don't agree with what he did, but this man changed my life. So
I
I-
have
I-
to be a part of the bandwagon.
I don't.
though.
I kind of understand her POV because Kay Michelle technically is just as guilty as the rest of his crew
she
because-
knew she saw some
Yeah.
because she saw some stuff.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if she's seen like the underageness.
stuff. No, she's seen some
she's
stuff.
seen some stuff
Yeah.
that makes you be like, this man got power in one shape or form.
Yeah.
So for her to be like, okay, let's go work on my album and just completely sweep what she's seen under the rug, you're kind of guilty by association.
Yeah.
How many people did
But it's
that,
hard.
though?
But it's
that's
all of them.
all
did,
of
though.
them did.
All of me.
See, because the number one
Every
person,
single last
the
one.
number one person I'm pissed at is Sparkle.
Agreed.
Because she was in the same position as Kay Michelle and actually introduced her niece to him.
Yep.
So you sitting here now want to be outraged at this man's behavior.
Now.
No, I'm sorry, I can't agree with that because I think it's about a timeline. Because Sparkle did introduce R. Kelly to her niece,
Right.
but I don't think she knew because it's on record that she was trying to separate them back then. She was the
Okay.
reason that
School.
she tried to actually get her niece to testify in court. It was her mother, the niece's mother, so her sister.
her
And see,
sister.
that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna bring up was them punk ass parents.
They got
It's
sold,
always
they got
the
bought
parents.
out.
Cause you know what killed me was I can't remember which one mama was like, we heard she was in the studio and we came up and we was knocking on the windows and woo woo. And this wasn't your first time having to go get your daughter away
The
from
light-skinned
this
one.
man. My mama would have beat the door in,
Linda
nigga,
Carter
broke the
too.
windows, nigga.
Linda Carter too.
But here's what I came to the realization of these parents. Kale did his homework. I don't care how much
He definitely did his
we're
homework.
not gonna sit here and act as Kales wasn't smart. He might have been dumb to society,
I
but he
can't
was
read.
smart to certain situations.
Absolutely.
He picked
Smart enough to
certain
have an
girls
MBA.
A professional.
and he ran
Predator.
with certain girls because he knew that the family situation.
Mhm.
So if you got a family that's damn near living with roaches and rats, and this man says, "Hey,
I'm pay y'all.
I'm
Get your
gonna
child.
take care of y'all, but she gonna come stay with me," and you do it under the guise of I'm gonna help her career, most of the times parents are gonna be like, okay,
Not Crystal.
they see the money
Yeah.
and they see that their lives are changing and they're okay. They play dumb to it because they can always go back to the cereal box with full of roaches lifestyle, or you can just wait till she turns 18 years old and whatever she does, she's a grown woman in that case.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think to be a predator and to be somebody who does the things that R. Kelly does, to be a trafficker, to be all these things, it takes a level of like smarts and manipulation.
Yeah,
Like you can't do that if you don't have a plan. You can't be, just basic sneaky or basic conniving. Like
You
you
can't
have
just
to
walk up to every single
you have
girl
to
in
know
high
what you're
school
doing.
and be like, "Come home
All
with
of
me,"
that.
and not realize there's going to be consequences. You got to pick and choose who's in what, look at the situation, and did your homework.
Yeah, all of that, and even a celebrity. And not saying that like what they did was right, whatever. But it's like one of those things. Like I guess we'll never truly know until we're in those situations. So if you are an up and coming artist or a celebrity or need a comeback, and R. Kelly is gonna write your music, a lot of times you probably would turn your eye to stuff like, whatever. I just need my stuff. I'm gonna get out and whatever. And also, R. Kelly was R. Kelly. R. Kelly was the king of Chicago.
You're king
So
of
you could
R&B,
do
period.
Right.
what,
And
and it's
he
unfortunately
still is,
whatever
and
you
I
want.
will still give him that.
Yeah, and nobody can
Yeah,
touch
You
him.
can't take that from him,
I
from
wouldn't take
Michael.
it from-
because Michael had his own allegations,
but
and
never was
confirmation.
convicted.
Well,
That's
so-
another. That's a person I'm gonna ride with.
Because he ended
Michael.
up recanting. And
That's
it was
my
like,
nigga.
okay, like, so did it happen or did it not happen?
And that's just
No.
it. No one has ever really truly proven that Michael's allegations was real or not.
I mean, in your head, in the back of your mind, like if you keep it all the way 100, I believe that Michael was sleeping in the bed with them boys. Now, he
I
might
believe
not
he was
touch
probably
them,
sleeping in the
I'm
bed.
saying, like,
Absolutely.
but that's
sleeping-
weird though.
But he was
That's
weird.
But
That's
you
the
have to
thing.
understand, like, he came from his childhood was stolen in so many words. So what we as normal human beings consider as like, nigga, you weird, may not ever cross his mind.
Yeah,
It may
so-
just be his
It's like a slumber party.
Yeah, slumber party,
he's 10 years old
comfortability.
again, but that's-
You know, I mean,
I
I
wish
feel
he would
you.
have been smart enough not to put himself in them situations.
And I think because of who he was, they were gonna paint a narrative of Michael regardless.
True.
They was.
Especially the kind of
But
money that
why-
man had.
Right. They were gonna pay the because if you really sit back, like when we talk about music for an example, if you go back and you listen to Michael's music, Michael was a motherfucking pimp, and he was knocking hoes down.
That and he
Left
owned
and right.
stuff that we didn't even know
Girl.
about.
I
Friend.
can't
Like, he
picture
bought
Michael
Eminem
Jackson
songs.
having sex.
See,
I
you
can't either,
can't,
but-
but that don't mean that he wasn't doing it.
Child, I
You know,
couldn't
the
picture
girl
him
is
having
mine.
sex.
You know,
I can
picture
can't
Prince
picture
having
none of-
sex.
I
thought
can't picture
I
none of
was
y'all having
very-
sex. Don't mean y'all not doing it.
Oh my.
No, my uncle, it's so funny. I think I helped bring him out of his homophobia eventually because he was still heavy in it when I first came out. But it was so funny to me how he would defend Prince. Like if
He
you
ain't
said
gay.
Prince was gay, he ain't gay.
He had hoes.
He ain't- it's-
He always had a bitch
You
on his
had
arm.
hoes too. Shit.
But I wasn't.
Bitch on your arm.
He had
But I wasn't chopping them
bitches.
down.
Mike stands for
I wasn't chopping them down
In
though.
high school, this man,
For nobody to know.
this man he had girls fighting over him. He had girls on his arm constantly.
because Donnie was a real nigga, but still sensitive, and bitches like that.
apparently they just thought he was so fine. Like, child.
'Cause Donnie was a guy that actually took care of himself.
But the thing is too, it was. I think I don't know. I went through like ebbs and flows because I feel like I was kind of like more masculine back in high
That's probably the
school.
most masculine you've been in your life.
Yeah, but then when I first came out, I was like gay as
You
hell,
was still
like
front super
twerking and shit. No, when I first came out, I was
Your
doing all of
front
that.
was extra,
But then I had to,
Extremely.
I reeled it back
Look,
in.
you
Like that's
extra
not
gay.
me. Like that's not me. I just
No.
had to let the gay
I'm
out.
gay.
I just had to let the gay out. You know what I'm saying? That's actually a perfect segue into the old us and the new us.
Well, let me ask you a question before we roll into that, because you brought that up. Is there two different types of gay? Because I've heard
There's more than two different types of
let me
gay.
say,
There's
like there's definitely the
being gay is not a
flamboyant.
monolith.
Yeah, no, because like you definitely have the flamboyant, the ones
Yes.
that are just like, nigga, you gotta chill, fam. But then I've also recently heard that there's such thing as ghetto gay.
Yeah, they
Yes.
used to call me Banji all the time. They call us Banji gays. So this is the thing. I actually just had this conversation with Terrell because right before Lil Warren died, one of the last conversations I had with him and Lisa's boyfriend, these are my cousins, and their people, I was like, why y'all have such a problem with Saucy Santana? So asking her, they're like, he's just too gay. He's not like you. Like, I could talk to you. I feel like I could chill with you. And I'm like, I don't feel like that's a compliment.
It's not.
Like, because that's kind of like tokenism or saying, like, what if you were a black person and asking a white person, like, why you don't like this person? Well, you're just a different type of black person.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I like you.
And
They
they
shall
need to
do
do their
that.
research
It's
on
very
Saucy
problematic.
because Saucy was a hood nigga. He was a drug
Because he's
dealer.
flamboyant, they assume certain things.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But that man,
Yeah.
he used to be very, before he was comfortable with himself, he says it in his music all the time. He was out there slanging and doing his thing.
And I think sometimes that's when people do feel those different types of ways. It's something that they have to look in within themselves. Like, why do you really have? Because for me, I just don't care what anybody does. So if you want to be flamboyant, it's not affecting me. If you want to be super masculine, it's not
Ain't nobody
affecting
judging
me.
you hood niggas for having y'all
Flamboyancy.
pants
Yeah.
sagging halfway
And I'm
down
gonna
your ass,
look.
not knowing how to complete a full sentence in correct English. I mean, no one's talking about
Right.
y'all.
Right.
So
And
know,
still wearing
Right, let us
boxers.
live.
Right.
Basically. Still boxer showing.
Right,
looking a
like-
Wear Walmart
mess.
boxers, plaid.
And girl, I mean, if we keep it all the
Crusty.
way cute, y'all be looking gayer than us. Like I be seeing y'all in these
Yes.
bright ass belts with these
Tacky.
razzle dazzle shit. I'm
Yes.
like, what is
Jeans with the
going on?
little like
They
Your
out here
ass is hanging out your pants, but you
Yes.
straight though, pimp.
They out
All
here.
right.
They out here
You got every gay nigga looking at that ass though.
They out here peacocking, fam. They got to be the brightest in the room to make the bitches look.
Bitches,
That's what it be
you know
seeming
what?
like.
Hood bitches probably like that bright shit.
Hood bitches got colorful ass hair. They be peacocking just as well too. 5 bitches in a row looking like the Infinity Stone.
Especially in Milwaukee clubs. Ooh, Jesus.
So I mean,
I agree, but
I'm
I
not-
just feel like, but I feel like the women don't have a complex, and that's the difference. I actually had this conversation with my coworkers the other day as well, because I had told her, I was like, I don't get judging a super flamboyant dude, but I get sometimes thinking some things are too much, and I don't think that has to do with sexuality. That just has to do with being scantily clad. Period.
My
So,
thing is,
like,
don't
if
be so
you're-
loud.
If you're like, let's say you're going to Pride, and this is the example I use with my coworkers. Like, it's a gay guy. He's going to Pride, and he wore something similar to what Christian wore when we went out.
Mhm.
Like asses out, like high heel boots, leather, dominatrix esque. But a kid is in the room.
Oh,
I am going to feel like that's too much. Just the same way I feel like if a woman was
yeah, that's
dressed
the
a certain-
same.
like that,
Yeah,
it's
like
not
there's
about
a
being
child
gay.
Yeah, like
dressed,
there-
it don't
like
matter
there's
who's
a
dressed
photo-
like that.
like there's a photo of a woman going around where she has this damn near nothing ass dress on, and the question is asking, is this appropriate for a first date? And basically, it's just like a piece of cloth hanging by a chain around her neck, titties just tittying all over the place. And there's so many people's like, no, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
I think it depends on what you like, because some people look at that as sexual liberation. If you're the type of man who's content with that's who your woman is, that's who you fell in love with, then yeah, that's perfect for you. If you are the type of person, I don't want to use the word class, but if you're the type of man who appreciates a little bit more conservativeness,
That's-
then that is not the type of person you're going to date with.
Right,
We don't have to be monolithic in our thoughts all the time.
Yep.
All straight men, all gay men, all black women, all people do not have to be
Ugh.
monolithic. We can definitely have different points of views
Right.
and be
Yeah.
different people and appreciate different things.
I
Right.
agree.
Exactly.
Yeah, and everybody,
Exactly.
everything's not for everybody, but it's that mindset of, like you said, not, I guess, having a monolithic way of thinking.
It's
of
also
things.
about not judging. Like, okay,
Not
so that
giving a-
scantily clad woman may not be for you, but it's not for you to be like that fucking hoe. Like,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know what
My
I'm saying?
answer to that would be, I wouldn't wear that. I ain't got the titties for that. That's not for me. But if you got the body for it and you feel comfortable, bitch, do your thing. I encourage I tell my friends all the time, I encourage all the shits.
This is why I don't bash Lizzo. I don't have
I
an
love
issue with Lizzo
Lizzo.
doing what she does.
Right.
But I will say, I'm so sorry. I felt so sorry for laughing at this. But Judge Joe Brown recently did an interview where he was bashing Lizzo, Kamala Harris.
He's problematic.
And
It's crazy.
but when he called Lizzo the fat ass lizard,
Lizzo the fat ass
Lizzo the fat ass lizard out there twirling around. I'm sorry. Now you know my sense of humor is very dark. I will laugh
Yeah.
at dark jokes
It's so
about
funny,
gay
it's
people.
funny.
Like,
I'm
if it's
50
funny, it's funny.
I'm 50-50 with Lizzo. Like, I'm all for, big girls having their fun, but she also got to pick and choose her location. You can't be ass out at a Lakers game.
But my thing is, like I said, y'all didn't say nothing about Rihanna being assed out
When?
at an award show. She would, because the biggest thing I heard about that was, well, Rihanna didn't have her ass, because I was like, Rihanna's always naked too. Y'all don't say
Rihanna's
nothing.
always making.
And then they were like, well, Rihanna didn't have her ass in a seat that so many other people sat in. Yes, she
Yes, she
did.
did.
Yes, she did.
Several times.
She definitely did.
So they make excuses for Rihanna because it's more
I would say
sexually
this,
appealing.
it was probably
No,
more
it's-
children at that game than it was
Was
at
at
that
the
award show, though.
Right.
And that's
Two,
my issue.
but
with
two,
it,
the
as far as
difference-
picking, choosing your place.
But one of the biggest
get that.
difference between Rihanna and Lizzo, like, let's take sex appeal and all that stuff out the equation, and let's just look at the moment. Rihanna was ass naked. She came, she did her photo, she sat her ass down. Lizzo tends
Right,
to
left
make a
early.
scene in
Because
between.
then she
Oh, yeah,
twerked
she was, like,
for some
dancing.
too, like,
See,
Hey,
Lizzo-
yeah.
and you always got to do something
Like,
a little
Lizzo-
extra.
Yeah.
Lizzo's a little flamboyant. okay, going from point A to point B. So that's how, like, we made was like, damn, that's a big ass, and probably would have forgot about it. But then you started twerking. It was like, dog, why is her ass all like? Now
Right.
we talking.
There's
about
Lizzo in the front row. And
Right.
Lizzo the fat ass Elizabeth.
Lakers
And
are
we
up
not
by
even
5.
calling her fat. She really do got
No.
a fat ass.
I'm quoting Judge
That's
Joe
a
Brown.
long-
I know.
what is that,
but I'm
long
just
crack?
saying,
But I do love her though. I just
Like,
wish
I
that she
love
would
her
get
energy
you
and
like you
everything,
said.
like-
Well, do we criticize Megan the same way? Do we give Megan the pass because she is more curvaceous and body is more accepted? I don't hear the same complaints about Megan always
I
being
have, but
naked and
not.
always
But I
twerking.
agree, not in
When
the
is
same
she
amount.
always naked? When
That
She
shit
always
is Megan
twerking.
have clothes on. Name a top. Find me a
Maybe
picture
I
with
don't
Megan with
watch
clothes
enough.
on.
Outside, but with Megan though, let's keep it a buck. Her twerking and her knees is what she's known for.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, and getting shot in the pinky toe.
I still ain't seen her twerk in no space where it was some kids.
I
Yeah.
give her that too. She either twerks at home because when
Right.
Hence
when
is
we
my
first,
common outrage. I
Right.
have no
Or she
problem with
drunk
twerking
somewhere.
naked,
or she performing.
but
Yeah.
as long as it's in an appropriate space, and that goes
Yeah,
for
I think
all of
kids
them.
kind of like just that's the only time where I'm kind of like, okay, like how far will you go? Because
Like,
it's
I
like,
I don't care
or
if you the
old
skinniest
people
bitch on
too.
earth or
I
the
mean,
fattest
sometimes
bitch
it's
on
like
earth.
let's have
If
respect
it's
for
some
some of our
kids
elders
around,
as well.
that too. Like,
Like,
you know what I'm
you know,
saying?
if it's all lot of old people around, it's not appropriate.
Like,
You
I
can get
don't
somebody
care
a
about
damn
you
heart
might-
attack.
Cause
Just
you
make
might
sure
come-
like if you on vacation somewhere like Puerto Rico somewhere they do that shit at, bitch, have at it. Be
But don't-
bucket naked. Enjoy. But like,
Yes,
just
I
I mean,
did
you don't go
enjoy
to the old folks home.
Don't be twerking in front of Miss Anna May and expect her not to
right.
be
Have
cool
something
with
to
it.
Look at you.
Like, she might have our,
Where's our dignity?
you know,
We're a family.
Auntie Louise might try to get on the
That
dance
Tyler
floor and
Perry
do it
movie,
with
dude.
you because she was fast in her age, but Ella May might have a heart attack, man. You gotta
So you get these old folks a heart
Right.
attack.
you gotta chill out, man.
Yeah, it's not
But I
that
don't
balance.
think that, being naked or anything like that means that they don't have respect for themselves
Right.
and stuff and all that
You
goofy
just
shit.
gotta.
Yeah.
But I
They're
will
just
say,
proud of their bodies.
I be seeing the comments under Lizzo, and motherfuckers. I kind of understand why she's so overly dramatic. Because when you read them comments and how the motherfuckers hate her for just loving herself, I would probably be a little extra too to keep it 100. Because I was reading comments, they was hurting my feelings.
Yeah,
Shit, they wouldn't
be-
talk
they
about
be-
me.
they
You
be
probably feel the
fat-shaming
need to,
a
like-
motherfucker.
Like,
It
I
was
just
some-
need to
I saw
do
some
this.
terrible things. Like
Yeah.
they swore she was unhealthy and all this, that, and the other. And she's been working out consistently, if I'm not mistaken, for at least like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, she's
And
posting
it's
videos
not
of her
to-
jump roping and doing different things to
And it
try
wasn't
to
to
keep her
lose weight;
health
it
in
was just
check.
to be healthy. Let's be clear, because she doesn't need to lose.
But
no
that's
And then a lot of
because
times
we-
people don't understand why people are the size. You can associate, I guess, obesity or weight with unhealthiness because
it's not always true.
it's not always true, and then it's sometimes it's not. It's for reasons outside of their control. Like
Yeah.
sometimes people have conditions and things like that they can't control their weight.
Mhm.
So you can't
Mm-hmm.
be like, bitch, stop, put the
Put the
cupcake
chicken
down.
down.
Right?
Right.
Like, you know
The
what I'm
problem
saying?
is we live in a society right now where fitness is everything. Like, it's the biggest market right now. And the fact that they little BMI scale is solely based upon a crackheaded white woman from Europe,
Right.
it always will make it look like majority of America is obese. And of course, we want to make it look like majority of America's obese because that's how we're going to start making money off of y'all.
Yeah.
These quick weight loss programs, these exercise equipment, these
No,
gym
you ain't never
membership.
lied because I did
And
like
that
all
still.
them different things.
overseas,
I
And,
did.
and, and we're not,
cheese
and
and
we're not out of
wine.
shit.
Right.
We're not that way. Like, honestly, most people are genetically are going to be bigger. Period. Juan's a big dude. My nigga. He's been a big dude all his damn life. Don't mean that nigga is anywhere close to unhealthy. He's just a big person.
Mhm.
Everybody is not meant to be a crack. If you want to be honest, let's back it up. Some of them skinny bitches are actually unhealthy,
That part.
Exactly.
but we
Mhm.
want to praise them for being small.
Exactly.
Because people associate incorrectly being small with being healthy, and that's not the case.
I have a little tiny cousin, po baby. She stay in the hospital. I don't even know what's all wrong with her.
She probably got
Mhm.
sickle cell.
No, it's not
No,
that.
She not. She when she say
It's some of
tiny,
her
she talking about
legs.
inside. She
Like
our
skinny.
age. So
Oh,
she
yeah.
our age, but she's tiny in as far as size, and she's been that way her whole life.
Does she eat a lot? Because
Yes.
they always say the little ones got like high metabolisms.
Mhm.
Yeah, but my mom is another example. Like she don't really eat that much, but she's been small her whole life. It's just
Whole life.
how she was built.
Yeah, that's
And
just how it is.
I remember questions like when I was a kid, like they were like, "Oh, your mom was a crackhead," or all this little other dumb bullshit because she was
Who the
so
hell?
small. Felicia and a few other people have said that.
You know, kids are rude.
So,
Yeah.
because my mom, she has big eyes and she was little, so I feel like that was what she was trying to allude to,
I never-
asking that question.
I know
That's
a
the
lot.
Diana
I've
Ross
always
look.
known a lot of crackheads,
Hello,
and
that's
I
what she
never
used to get told she
equated
looked like.
that with your mother.
Yes, but that would be why I would let her have it. It's the same girl who I asked her when she was gonna tell her mom because she was telling me stuff like this. Go find your mama.
That's
Yeah,
the
definitely.
old you.
Yeah. Ooh, it's another perfect segue. Well, no, you know what? We always get into the old me.
We do get on the old you a lot.
Because
And-
we see growth in you.
Thank God.
We see
precious.
obvious growth in you.
Very obvious.
That's the reason why it always starts with you.
Ooh, this game got me stressed.
Well, I mean, if you- like, I was having a conversation with Terrell, and he was like, "I ain't never heard so many fighting stories." He was like, because he was like, it just seemed like you, Brittany, and your family, like that's what y'all grew up doing. He was like, I could name all my fights in life on one hand. I was like, ooh. Jesus. I'm gonna need my both hands, both
And
feet.
toes.
I'm gonna start counting teeth.
Okay.
The fights that we have had.
Man.
But like you are not this innocent little bystander that you always portray yourself out to be.
Damn.
No.
It's something about me. I'm like, yes,
It was
I am.
like you and Warren
Yes, I
they used
am.
to get us into trouble, and then I would just be there and just had to fight alongside of y'all. 'cause I was
Crazy.
I
there,
need to go down.
No, I think that
of course.
we don't want to talk about you slamming people's heads into lockers.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Brittany Ann.
That never happened.
Brittany Ann.
I don't even know if that's your middle name.
Almost, actually.
Brittany Ann Walker.
You
Add a
very
couple,
close.
add 4 more letters.
Very close. Very
Brittany
close.
Anime.
No,
Anime and-
Brit-
We'll talk about it
And
afterwards.
Annette.
Okay.
Brittany
A. Marie.
Annette
So
Baker.
Me, her, and Laura all had middle names that begin with A. We thought we was the shit.
basically, hi Lauren, because she's tuning in. Basically, what had happened was my lovely friend got a hickey from my boyfriend that I was dating at the time.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Dun.
And see, what did it for me was
The hickey,
once
of
I
course.
finally found out what happened, it was like realizing that she laughed in my face about it. That's
Ooh.
what sent me. Because when I saw the hickey, I'm like, oh, bitch, where you get that hickey from? I was so excited. She like, I can't tell you. And I'm like,
She
oh,
definitely
okay,
could
bitch.
have
Like,
made something.
you'll
Like,
tell
this
me
boy on
later,
my block.
whatever.
Right.
And then later on, I get a phone call on my house phone from her mom, and her mom wanted to talk to my mom. And her mom had upset me because we was living with my grandmother at the time,
Okay.
and she kept calling my grandma's house after 9 o'clock, and I'm like, "Ooh, she about to
No,
like she don't
don't
do that.
understand."
Another
Don't
respecting
do that.
elders.
And my
You don't do that with
grandma
old
is,
people.
Like worse than Medea. So I'm like,
She
she don't
has
know what she
lifted me up in
finna.
the air before with one hand
Right.
for mispronouncing her name.
Like she don't understand what she about to unleash on us if she don't stop calling this phone.
But
And
why
my
is she?
mom-
First of all, how did your mom even?
The boy was over
Too old
age.
to be messing with neither one of them.
Yes.
So she was basically for the dry.
And they
snitch on
found
you.
that out. They found out everything because when she got caught, she, had to tell everything basically. So now her mama is calling my mama. My mom had a lot going on in her life at the time. She was in school. We had just moved back to my grandparents' house because my sister's father went to prison and so on and so forth. So when her mom called, my mama wasn't really listening like that. She didn't really, I don't want to say she didn't really care, but she didn't.
She didn't care.
Because I told her straight up that I was going to school to fight Lauren the next day. And she was like, well, don't let your grandma find out.
Dude, this
I'm
is
like, okay.
and she had told me too, and I didn't believe her.
I told him.
I
I
didn't
told
believe
her
her.
mama. Apparently, she didn't believe me either because she didn't tell Lauren. So
So
no
they
one
was gonna-
believed me.
They was gonna let Lauren
Because
walk into
at
an
this
ass
point,
whooping.
I hadn't really had a fight
Yeah,
at school. I
like
had
she was
only
known for
argued
cursing
with
people out. I'm like, she not gonna.
Yeah,
But
I had
the
only
bitch was
cussed people out.
disrespectful.
Plus, also the other girl wasn't really known for fighting, so
But
it's
she
like,
was
wasn't. She wasn't.
disrespectful.
And then
well,
this was-
she
and
got
then look,
disrespected.
Teach her a
the
lesson.
icing on the cake though was she had some type of negative interaction with my cousin that the same day I had planned on confronting her. So she had an issue with Bianca that day.
I remember.
So, and my cousin, just like her, is not a fighter. She's not even an arguer, none of that. So I always felt like the protector on top of everything else for my family. So now I feel like I gotta protect my cousin on top of I gotta check this bitch for laughing in my face. So I just walked straight up. She saw me coming and I said something to her. Like I said something, like I didn't just grab her. Like I made her aware I was coming and I was pissed. And she knew I was coming for her, and she just put her head down.
Wait. My perspective
here it
is, Brittany said something like, "Bitch,
And he
what's
was
that shit you
alongside of
talking? What's that shit you was talking?" Da, da, da.
Like, I ain't say
the girl
nothing.
was like, I remember just walking side by side with her. Yeah, all of a sudden.
Was she talking shit, or that's just what the first thing that came out?
Because she was always really nonchalant, because she wasn't a fighter, so she always be like, "Girl." You know what I'm saying? Like she
So
wasn't gonna.
she's like, I didn't say anything.
Nah, she was like, she took that collar and that hair. And
I thought it was her book bag.
it was something. I don't know. His one hand was on the collar. That's the side I was.
One hand was definitely on the
Her
collar.
hair is long, so I couldn't tell if it was a book
You
bag.
probably had
It
both.
was a heave ho.
Probably.
But it was like,
Yeah.
Next thing I
You
know,
heaved the
somebody
hoe.
done grabbed me.
yes, because
carried me
our
down
friend
the
Najee was there as
hallway.
well. So he grabbed her before she could do anything else. Because she was, but the other funny part, she got up like, "What'd I do?"
Exactly. She's like,
To
that's what I was like.
the
She's like,
office.
I didn't do
So either A, she was playing dumb,
it.
That's
All she did was
what
tell her
she
mom.
two, or two, you done did so much shit you didn't know what the fuck you got caught for this time.
And see, sadly for her back then, I used to hear a lot of stuff, and I don't know if it was actually true because you couldn't have trusted nobody back then. To be
I
honest,
mean, but it's possible that it
But I
was
used
true.
to believe a lot of he say, she say. It could have been, it might not have been. I don't know. Thankfully, praise the Lord, we made up, and
She's
we've
one of our
been
closest friends today.
consistently strong
And she
ever
stays-
since.
And she stays the fuck away from Doug.
Right. No new
No,
hickeys.
you know what? I don't even think Doug is her type, and I honestly think we were kids before. Like
Of course. I
I
always
doubt
say
it.
nothing, anything that happened before 21.
Yeah,
hold it.
I
Yeah,
would
because I was
have
gonna
her
say it
around.
happened again,
I feel well,
but
kind of not really.
it all was before 21.
My baby daddy tried to talk to her though,
And she
and she
Alert.
came and told me
Now,
immediately.
look, I don't-
and he
I-
tried to
But she
switch it
got hit.
around.
Where
She
there's
got
no more
ran to a
lockers,
locker.
I don't want it to
Yeah,
be
she
a
did
pole
not
or
want
the
that to
concrete.
happen
This
again.
exactly.
Let's keep
So
it
she
a
was
buck.
like, "Hell no, I'm calling Brittany immediately," and that actually was a good turning point in our relationship that really like set us on the path that we.
and
on
that was
now.
that actually was funny because when y'all made up, because I always used to be like neutral with all of the females in my life that would get into it, whether it be you versus Marlena or versus Lauren or versus Whitney or whatever the case. But then I started not liking her.
Which
'cause
one?
Lauren.
Oh yeah, you did. And when you stopped liking her was when we was really starting to like each other.
Yeah, I didn't like Lauren because I was like, Lauren's too bougie. I don't like her. I feel like she's judging me.
Screaming.
Because you gotta understand how
Duh.
like Lauren has pretty much been since 21. The person she is now is who she's
Yeah.
been. So like it took for me to calm down and be like, yeah, I kind of was a lot.
It took you a while to get to
She
her
sounds
level of
like
maturity.
me.
Yeah, because like it'd be annoying you going out to eat at BW3s and I'm getting belligerently intoxicated talking shit to the next table over like you ugly bitches. Like
And see, I was
Hell
used
yeah.
to it. You know what I'm saying? She
I
was
would have left
busy.
then and left now.
Like even though you was bad in grade school and in high school, like she didn't get that Donnie. Drunk Donnie was different.
yes, well when I
That's a
first started
complete-
drinking,
You know,
it was
I
very
couldn't
hard.
handle drunk
to-
Donnie at first.
We used to get
That's
into
a
it all the
whole nother
time
ball
because
game.
of being intoxicated.
I
'Cause
remember
I used to
Warren.
cuss you out for
I
nothing.
remember Warren asked me once,
Yeah.
like, "What is the why? Whenever you drink, you come for Brittany? Like, what is the
Right.
problem?"
And then I was gonna ask too to kind of follow up on this. So you I assume you said baby daddy. You're talking about the.
No.
Okay, so-
I was pregnant
Okay.
at 16.
Okay, because I was okay. Well, I do know that story, so we can scratch that
Yeah.
question. I was gonna say like if this was like how because y'all said you're still close with the
shouldn't
girl.
call him that no more. I just don't like saying his name.
Yeah,
either.
and I was just gonna see like how that dynamic is, but it's obviously not Doug because I can imagine if it was, it would have been weird because you're still close. You probably wouldn't be close.
We wouldn't be able to be close right now.
Like you can never come around, never come over.
You come to Milwaukee, you better ask to stay with a king.
Okay.
Like-
Listen, stay your ass on the sidewalk. I'll meet you outside.
Right, I'm here. I'll meet you.
We wouldn't be together either. I couldn't do that.
No, hold on, because he not off the hook either. See,
Oh,
I'm
back
his
when
friend,
he
too.
used to be straight.
Oh
no, I don't know if it was
That's
that long
not the
ago
old
when
him
he
we just
had
talked
the when you had the bang.
The man.
Ooh, not
Uh,
the
original
bang.
He had showed me this video of him cussing somebody clean the fuck out,
Oh,
but he was very
I
intoxicated.
would. Yeah,
But
I can.
you have to tell the story.
So I love telling that story because it doesn't happen. And I was saying earlier, like pretty much me, I've always been the same me kind of now. Is I've always been. I've never like really terrorized people. Never been cussing people. I've terrorized my family more because I was the only child. I was super mischievous. So like my aunts. So the way y'all tell stories about each other, like when my aunts get together, like my mom, they tell stories about me. Like, yeah, I took Jamal to McDonald's. He was running around. I had to shake him, and I started beating him, and then I stopped because the white people was looking. Or my ex-husband grabbed him because he kept hitting him. Or like I used to take like my aunt's like jewelry and break it
Oh my
and hide it, and she would find it and like tell my mom to come get me.
So bad.
So when I hear it, I'm like, that was me, but I was that to like my family. I was always like good outside of that. But so this story with me cussing out this guy named Francis, I don't know Francis, I think he tuned in once. He's somebody I used to have a thing where we used to have a love-hate relationship. But
Hello, Kareem.
I never took his shit. Like, and he was someone who like would try stuff. He would try to play, and he would basically do shit that was shady or whatever. And then when you call him out on it, which I'm sure this probably remind you of a reality show or something, they would play victim or whatever. It's just, and then I would look like the bad guy because I'm cussing your ass out. But literally, no, you just tried to comfort me. But we were Oakland Euros, like most people, at like 3 or 4 in the morning. After probably 3rd Street or Whiskey Bar, which I miss.
Whiskey Bar was
Was lit, and
Where I had my birthday party.
no, that was the place where Scotty threw a drink on me, but that's a whole nother story. Where I had the whole hood. That's a whole.
We'll get into that. And so my friend, I think I ordered but one of my good friends, April, who's also his good friend, had some fries, and I just. Like, let me get a fry. I ate a fry, which isn't a big fucking deal. And he said something like, well, why are you eating that? Get your own. You didn't pay for that. And
Yeah,
one thing
fry.
about me, I don't get mad about a lot of stuff, but I do not like to be undermined. I do not like to be made out as a freeloader or anything like that. Like, that gets me mad because it's like, but you're not gonna cover me like that. So I just went off. I don't remember what I was saying. I was like, bitch, you didn't pay for shit either, motherfucker.
He gotta show you the video.
I gotta find the video, but like
you had it like last year.
and he was just like, trying to play like,
He was
you're
yelling.
crazy. You're crazy. What are you yelling for? You're crazy. I'm like, bitch, because you coming for me, motherfucker. That's what I said too. Like, bitch, you didn't pay for shit either. Like, over a fucking and we and him used to get into all this. I remember we lived together. So I live with this person, crazy, right? And April stayed across the street. I was like, it's always April. And I was like, I wonder if April got some eggs. I'm gonna go ask her for some eggs. And he was like, why don't you just go buy some eggs? Why are you? And I'm like,
That's what you do with neighbors. Damn
yeah. And this is my friend who stayed across the street, and I went off again. He's
It's not like a give and take relationship. I gave you some eggs, you gave me sugar next week. You know
It's
what I'm
a fucking
saying? Like,
egg.
what's
It's
the fucking
like-
problem?
It's not
why are you
It's
worried
not that
about me
deep.
getting
It's
some
not like I'm
eggs?
going to ask April for $100
Why you always
to
trying
go
to
blow.
find
He was trying.
Right.
He definitely stayed my business. So those were the times. That's one person who I would get into it with all the fucking time because he would try me. But I love him, and I'm sure he loves me, and we're cool. We're friends. We just had a lot of moments, and you have that friend who like I guess tries you, you get into it with,
Hello, David.
and but y'all still love each other. But it's just like I'm not putting up with your shit, and I guess you're not gonna put up with mine, even though I'm not the one ever starting it, but I'm going to end it.
You know what's funny about your story is me and Donnie was just talking the other day, and we was just saying that who you are now today, like who we know you to be, if we were to see you cussing somebody out or getting ready to fight or something, we will automatically jump in it, and that person would just be cussed out or jump because motherfucker, you did something wrong.
And when she
and
said
Mom
that,
P is snapping on you.
when she said that, I said, "Child, why? His friend said he gonna have a big head because Berto just told him the same thing.
What?
Listen.
We was
We
on
in Minnesota,
vacation.
He's
like,
the chill one. He's the one that keep all of us firecrackers like calm and like rational and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, if Jamal is snapping, it's like because
somebody
like,
else did it.
my thing is, even if you are upset, let's say you're upset with somebody else than Jamal, because some people have misdirected anger, and I'm glad that's something I got rid of. Like, if I'm mad at you, really not too much Jamal can say or do except for like pretty much jump on your side and start doing the same thing
right.
to make me go off on him because he didn't do nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? So, like to even see Jamal just like any type of buck nuck if you buck.
Somebody better pray. You
It
don't
is funny,
ever get upset.
Because his friends were saying that we gonna make his head big, but I mean it's the truth though, because like I feel like Jamal wouldn't even have to fight.
No, we probably
right, I'm
put your
trying to
ass
get
out
to the
way.
person. I'm trying to move y'all.
Right.
And he dead before I even got like, damn.
Especially if me, Donnie, and Berto there, like that, you won't even get a chance.
His legs gonna be bro. His guts gonna be out, and his head gonna be bashed in.
No, I'm definitely trying to calm down on that. Because I have been told, like, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I think the worst of my anger has been exhibited in relationships.
Yes.
But they're like, it's like some like your eyes, there's nothing there. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of scares me.
Well, no, I've seen that, but only once you hit a certain point past like in your drinking. Then I'll see it. But I haven't seen it like in anger with your spouse. I'm typically not around. I typically end up coming around after y'all done fought.
Yeah, I think the only person who seen me fight, like physically fight, a spouse was Alex.
Yeah.
I do want to say that it was Alex. No, it's either Alex or Kirby. It's one of the two of them.
I want to say it might have been both. I know another female was there.
I know the fight that I had outside the club was Scotty in the car. It definitely was Kirby because it was in Kirby's car. So I remember her just saying, because he hit me first, and it was like everybody yelling on me, jumping on me, like I'm a Unabomber, and I know where Bin Laden is hit it.
The other fight was Alex and Marlena.
What?
No,
I'm about to say I remember this.
No, the other time the first time you fought Myron. I think it was Alex and Marlena.
Yeah. And when I threw the glass at him.
Yeah, because I remember them both telling me the story at different times.
Yeah. I had threw a glass at my ex. Shout out to Myron. He watches sometimes. And I've apologized to him since then. I've actually apologized to all my exes that and grown from that. And I really do feel like being physical with your partner is like really like a no-no.
Oh, touching back on the topic with Lauren, I actually found I had apologized to her once we got cool again because I felt like there were times in our friendship where I wasn't as good of a friend as I should have been. Yeah. So I felt like I owed her an apology too. Like when we finally,
yeah, I mean when you really like I even apologized to Felicia, right, who's the girl who I
apologized to her too.
Who I said something about her mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, that's it. But like, I feel like it's important that once you. My thing is not about you accepting an apology.
Yeah,
it's really more so about me knowing that I've hit a certain level in maturity, and I feel bad about what I did. So whether or not you accept it is irrelevant to me,
right?
Because it's apologies really do be for you. They be for you and the other person, but if the other person doesn't receive it, that's not for me to hold on to.
Right, exactly.
So, child. I've had to do a lot of apologizing, honey. Had to apologize to my mama. Yeah, you told me.
But I peeped those trades right away, and I stopped responding.
Well, I met him when I was very young. Anybody before, like, I want to say before anybody after Scotty is when I was grown. Before Scotty, all of these, I was kids.
You was
Chad, Scotty, Myron, and my first was. I was kids for those relationships.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
because Tristan gave me every reason to put hands on him, and I did it. But
And I was so mad. So mad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if I had put hands on him, child.
Yeah. Because I think it takes, like you said, it's a lot of, I don't know, to fight already is a lot, especially at this age is a lot. It takes a lot of energy. It
Child, we
takes you there.
30.
I don't see it.
Right. And I kind of understand why people like cry and stuff when they, because it's like, to get there, it's like, damn, like
It takes
become
so
a different
much.
person. You become a different person.
I want to focus less on physical violence for the last like 10, 15 minutes and focus on the fact that my mouth ain't yours too, but yours is never as bad as mine. Has come a long way, child.
I did have that moment with Whitney though when I told her that wasn't nothing special about the day she was born. And some other shit. I said something worse than that too, but I can't remember specifically. And it was her birthday when I said it too.
Girl, fuck your birthday. Wasn't that special about the day?
Oh yeah, that's what I said. That's how I said. That's why he laughing. That's exactly how I said it. Bitch, fuck your birthday. Ain't nothing special about the day you was born, bitch. Your daddy should have swallowed. And yes, I said her daddy should have swallowed. He should have sucked his own dick and swallowed. Yes.
Swallowed you.
Listen.
We both needed to chill.
That's how evil I was back then, though. Me and her not cool no more, but I wouldn't say that now and mean it. No, we actually got cool while I was pregnant with Bella.
We have this effect, though, of getting into it with people, and even if we're not cool with them, like the level we were again, it's something about, I guess, people, like, always, like, respecting us enough or, like, caring about us enough to, like, either want to be our friend again or to either not let it be beef. Like when you see me in the streets type shit. Because after some of the stuff that I've said to people, if you had said it to me at a certain point in my life, wasn't gonna be no being friends.
I don't know if she remember that.
Yeah, and I think
it don't remind her either.
And I think it potentially just depends, like, on the situation. Because for me, there are people that I do not speak to anymore, and I feel like it takes a lot for me to like not generally like you or want to have anything to do with you. But there is, I want to say. There's probably more, but there's one person that comes to my mind who I do not talk to, and pretty much they don't exist to me anymore. Is another person I used to live with, I used to be friends with, and we were cool. We were super cool. But
I know them.
No, they're from Wausau, but they went here for school. I'm really good friends with his sister, but I feel like his sister is the only one that got any damn sense, and absolutely, and his name was Tia, and like we were cool. And I remember he just basically crossed me like 3 times, and I gave him like a chance 2 times. And the third time, I wasn't even going to try to confront him, or I'm just like, you know what? I found some out. Somebody was close to me, told me some stuff. Like he kept saying stuff about me, and I was just so confused. And it was stuff to do with like my sexuality, other he was straight, other bullshit, and I'm just like, Tia, what is going on? Like, he was, he's like,
straight. His name is Tia, and he got something to say about somebody's sexuality. Well, as Tia a unisex name since when?
No,
I'm trying to figure that out.
And the first time it was like I knew him from freshman year. He went back to Wausau. He left UWM for like a couple years. I knew he was coming back, so I honestly was being intentionally nice to him, kind of welcome him back. We were on North Avenue, stuff like that, and we were on our way to a bar. He rode with like Christian and Kaw, who's his sister.
Christian's sister?
No, his sister.
Okay.
And Christian was in the car. Of course, Christian gonna tell me. I don't think.
Period.
And he didn't know that Christian was like my best friend.
Oh, he didn't know.
So he was like, "Yeah, I think Christian. I mean, I think Jamal. Like, I think he likes me, and he like hitting on me, and like that's why he want to hang." And Christian told me. So as soon as they got to the bar, very reality TV. Like, I grabbed it. I bought me a drink. I bought him a drink. I saw him sitting. I put his drink there, and I'm just like, I heard what you said. I don't need to go into it. We're gonna move past it. I just want you to know that I'm always find out, and it's always gonna get back to me. So please stop talking about me. Keep my name out of your. And always like, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about, and like, I'm like, save it,
girl.
And something like that happened again. I confront him again, and the third time, some other shit he said, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just not going to have you around. We were living together for at least 2 more months, and I didn't speak to him like one time. He just didn't exist to me. And yeah, because I don't like shit like that. Like, bitch, don't talk about me because I'm gonna find out.
I don't like shit like that either. And then like, don't try to deny it when I know it came from a reliable source. Like, but just quick cross reference. That's why I said Portia was innocent on Housewives because she believed her friend. Because it's like if you came to me and told me that who is a newer person that's come around? I don't know. I can't think of anybody, but that you know that's like newer, like less than a year. But like if you came around,
I was like Rocky.
yeah, okay, you just met Rocky. If you told me that after I left the club that Rocky was talking shit about me, why would I not believe you? And Rocky like, oh, she's lying. No, she's not.
No, bitch.
But
No,
the
no,
thing
no.
is, it's not a good example to use me and you. Because if a motherfucker is talking shit about you in the club, I'm gonna beat their ass right there before
That's
you
true.
get
This
to
is
hear about
true.
it. You
They
not
be
a good
getting cussed
example.
out.
Alex did better.
Now maybe if it was Jamal in place of you, I would tell Jamal because maybe I don't know the history between y'all or some shit like that. But you not it's not a good example. Don't use you.
No, it is a good example because ain't Christian your childhood friend?
Yeah, I mean since junior year of high school, so it doesn't go.
Yes, you know that's more like Marlena
And Alex.
Yeah.
But the Alex and Marlena hold the same weight. Like I'm not going to. If Alex came to me and said while we was at the party, Rocky was talking shit, I would believe her too. And Alex is not gonna
I'm
fight.
saying that's like it being like I was using different people. Because you're starting to confuse me now.
No, because I'm saying because he was saying that the friend that he had, Tia, was talking shit about him in front of his childhood friend. And so I was like, when he tried to deny it and say he didn't say it, I'm like, that's pointless because I know my friend from childhood, not a liar.
Well, you know, we did that before too when your exes kept trying to break us up and start rumors.
But see, that was kind of like from a different perspective because that was them trying. Like this is like him trying to call because basically he was trying to. I'm getting confused too. Okay, I know the difference in my head. I just can't articulate it.
I feel you. It's one of them kind of nights.
But
The moral story, you gonna believe your friend. That's
the moral of the story. You're gonna believe your friend. Okay. How did y'all feel about season 2? This.
I was like, what, legendary?
We pulled it together for the most part, but we kind of dropped the ball in some areas that we're gonna have to, you know.
I feel like I can't get your logic. I feel like this season was better than the first, to me, in my opinion. Topics better. We had more guests. I do think that we need to find a balance of having guests and being alone. But overall, I enjoyed the season. There were some guests that were not ideal.
I think as far as promoting, we had slacked off.
Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, you got to understand when something is new too, like the first season, something is new, it's a little bit more hype. We did geek it up, but I mean, we got a whole month because he won't be back for a while, child.
Well, we got to get rejuvenated and get the momentum back going.
Yeah, and I think also like, you know, yeah, I mean, I think life can be like unpredictable. Like as we see every day coming to the show, something new tends to potentially happen. So
Lord knows I always got a story.
You know, all those things like play factors, and like I think all those things with, you know, promotion, with, you know, consistency with guests, with timeliness.
Also, let's keep it real. The world is opening back up,
Mhm.
so people are getting busier, which is why we probably going bi-weekly.
Yeah, and there's things that we start facing later in the season that we didn't face in episode 1.
Yeah,
right.
Because we were still in the middle of a pandemic.
Working home completely 100%.
Child, my mental health and my physical health was not in order the last 2-3 episodes, so I had to go to the hospital and get some things, you know, figured out for myself. So, you know, like you said, like life happens, things happen, but I am appreciative. I couldn't be with 2 better co-hosts. I'm glad we got this little month off. We can take a little vacation.
Bounce a whole lot of ass during this month.
Yes, and I think the important thing is we've laid a foundation that I guess gives us wiggle room for a lot of these things we just mentioned. So we wouldn't have potentially had as much wiggle room or flexibility if a lot of these things were happening in the first season, because it probably wouldn't have lasted. So like, being a strong podcast, having people who actually view being, who we are, I think things is gonna be all right.
I
Be
I forget
all
which
right.
it's an artist that said you figure shit out as you go. And that's kind of what we're doing. We figuring the
Yeah,
shit out as we go.
absolutely.
And we figuring it the fuck out. We going on a third season. We ain't lost the host yet. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? We just working with each other. This really is a true definition of teamwork, which I probably couldn't have did speaking of old self a couple years ago.
Oh, Jesus.
It would have been like really like my way or the highway. I just got
Yes.
outvoted today. Like, excuse me, we're not doing the show next week.
Normally he would have had an attitude.
But it's really no, just like the last few years of life have really taught me a lot. Just in realizing how important teamwork is and how you can't be selfish in certain situations. And if the majority feel a certain type of way, child, then I gotta roll with the majority.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if it would have been like, okay, well, I can't be here next week, y'all want to do it, I would have been okay with that, because that's what works for everybody. And we saw what happened today, and it being the final show. I mean, I'm happy about that because I guess in theory it worked, and I guess my whole mindset is like, I guess to some degree we're all kind of, because we are doing the last show. Obviously, it might be a little longer we come back, but then you guys will be able to come to, something that's really important for me next week as well too.
Right.
And be able to do that, and yeah, because that wouldn't have happened next week at all.
And I get paid that day, so I definitely will be there drinking down boots. Not too much. I work Thursdays, but
I definitely work Thursdays, but I definitely don't.
And there's food in there too. I mean, because you came to we all came after the Institute, right? Yeah. So it's gonna be that same location. More detailed. Right. Let me just plug it right now. So, the prep rally, brought to you by the Intersectionality Among Men, which is the program that myself and Stacey Clark coordinate. We'll be having an event in. This is, I think, just audio. So in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, next Wednesday. Details will be coming out
by the time this comes out.
Yeah,
because this comes out
this
on Monday,
Wednesday.
So, this Wednesday.
This Wednesday at Uncle Buck's. We used to be the Old Uglies. Second floor is going to be lit. It's pretty much a happy hour type of feel, like a 6 to 9 type of situation. It's food in there, there's drinks. It's going to be dope. And then I don't know if you want to talk about the stuff you got coming up too for your birthday,
Oh. Like stuff. What stuff? I will be having my 30th birthday party next week, Friday.
Ooh, this girl getting old.
At this
Look it
event
up.
spot called Rain. If you know me, it is my profile picture, as well as posted on my page and Instagram, and I will be reposting a few more times leading up to that date. It's $5 entry, so you will have to cash at me, so or drop it off, or arrange for me to pick it up, however you prefer.
Get y'all broke asses together.
Right, it's just $5. We almost 30.
I just secured my spot today.
So, and there will be a list, and if you have not paid, you will not be getting in. Dead ass.
Well, I do also want to say that there are some things that I have planned this weekend, specifically with something going on Saturday. My BET Award show party's on Sunday, so that's what I got going on.
I'll be with you all weekend.
So yeah, it's a lot going on, and it's a lot to what I love about what's going on is even with your stuff too, that Berto and I are doing for you, is like making my people feel appreciated, making my people feel like, making them smile, like letting them know that like I care. I may not be able to do everything all the time, but I care. So
right. That's just
something.
That's the reality of being an adult, though. For real, though, is realizing you can't do everything that you gonna want to do.
You have to say no to some stuff.
Yeah, like I really want to go to Hawaii with Alex,
but
I know I'm not gonna be able to afford to go.
that's the pressure of like wanting to be there for people, especially if they done something for you. So it's like, what capacity can I figure out how to do it for them, even though it's not the same capacity? Because some people are petty. They're like, you didn't come to my birthday, I ain't coming to yours. You didn't come to my cookout, don't invite me to yours. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, I tried, but you have to show that effort. And so I think that that's also important. So there is a balance in back and forth that goes with that. But I do think it's important to let all your people know that they appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and I think it shows with like all the things that are happening and the efforts that are made and the dinners and your event coming up and I still like am planning something for here that everybody can at least celebrate with me, because everybody can't go to Vegas, obviously, because I always do something like that. I mean, last year I forgot what the fuck I did. What did I do last year? I think I had to think of
my friends'
Brownstone.
birthdays to be more spread out because literally, like, it's Berto, because it go Maine, Berto, me, like right there together. So that I'm trying to celebrate Maine and Berto birthday, but I still saving money for mine. Then finally I get a break. Then it's you,
David
Alex,
is in April.
you, Alex, David. I never can make David stuff. Like, it's too close, friend. You, Alex, David, Jamal, and Kirby all right in there together. So it's like really like the really only time like I could breathe, but then you got to think about family and friends too, because Angelique and Khadijah's birthday in September, and then my mom's is in December, and it's like the cycle starts over. So I think like every year, like you can't be mad. People have a lot of people who they care about, and everybody ain't gonna make yo everything.
Yeah.
So just try to show love the best you can.
Yeah, that's why I show it when I can, when I got money. If you just so happen to be lucky enough to get $1 or $2, goddamn it.
I do feel like us March babies benefit a little bit, and I do feel a little guilty sometimes because we tax season. So it's like, you
like,
file
you
them
ain't got
taxes.
no money to go. You ain't got no job, Tommy. Like,
everybody taxes were hitting on Donnie's birthday in the cabin.
Oh my
or the stimulus too.
Mine didn't hit till after I was pissed because I kept hearing motherfuckers throughout the night. She cut my taxes hit.
My stimmy hit. Yeah.
This motherfucker woke up out of a drunken sleep to his taxes.
Yeah, because my shit hit. I was drunk as hell.
Naked ass around the house. Like,
yeah, I remember because that's when the taxes and that second
and the stimmy was coming. Yes,
yeah. And I got mine. I think I had mine Saturday. Or when did we leave? Sunday or Monday?
We left Monday.
Okay, I got
mine Monday.
Me and Rocky, somebody had theirs before we came. I want to say, I thought you had yours before we came.
I didn't realize I had mine until I left.
But me and Rocky's hit on the same day, Saturday the 13th. Because Rocky was like, I got mine. I went to go check, like, I got mine.
Right.
Rocky was going heavy.
I kept checking, and I'm like, but I went to White House on Monday.
That was hilarious. So everybody was definitely on their phones checking their accounts around my birthday. I always try to file my taxes like the second week of February so they can be coming around my birthday so I can be set. But
yes, I still got that speaker that I bought from there.
Lord have mercy. We had a great time.
I might need to borrow that.
I was just about to. That was my reason for staying. I was like, if anyone needs it, I still got it.
Did you bring that to Minnesota?
No, I brought a little one, but that big one, I still have. So,
already,
yeah, it's hot as hell.
It's so hot here. Y'all haven't been seeing me like this the whole show.
I gotta go drop my laundry.
Yeah. Well, I think we are nearing the end. We are at the end of Horizontal Refreshments Season 2, the final episode. We just want to thank all our friends, family, and everything in between for just sticking with us, whether it was the first episode, every episode, the middle episode, and just tuning into the wettest podcast around. We're always going to give you all the real, all the funny, the tea, the sex, the relationships, and everything in between. I don't know if y'all have any final statements or whatever.
I just want to say that I feel fabulous.
I knew you.
I look fabulous, but I just want to know boots. No, I just want to say that I definitely, like I said, am very appreciative of my co-host. I want to say I'm very appreciative of all the guests that have come on. I'm looking forward to the the guests for the next season. And I also just want to say I just want to thank everyone who listens, whether it's every week or every other week or one time during the time we've been on. We appreciate every comment, every like, and every share. And we definitely will be planning a great big return because we can't leave for 6 weeks and not come back just regular.
We
Hopefully
definitely
we get
gonna
one
come
of
back
them
with a
live.
bang.
Hello.
Yeah, hopefully get one, as and we'll be potentially in a new space as well too, and hopefully it'll be like some cool like live, audience podcast event that
Yes.
happens because I know that's happened in the past. That's me talking to our producer about that.
Ooh.
We will make it back. Now that's gonna happen. But Britt, what you got? Your final statements?
You know that I love you guys and hardy har. I'm not gonna start crying, but no, I love y'all and I love all of the guests and let's
One last thing. You think we should come back with a new logo?
you think so? We can.
Yeah, we
Definitely
could.
can.
We could. We could talk about it off air. Put there's money into it. You know what I'm saying? Come back bigger and better. I love our logo now. That's no shade. But we could.
We need a refresher.
Yeah, upgrade. Tom, we need new photo shoots. Everything.
Like to keep y'all on y'all feet.
Right. Well, actually, we need the other ones.
That be that little volleyball.
I still need to see the original one. I'm glad we took some on that day.
We need to call this the shadiest podcast around.
We'll have to do a joint one
because
time.
we live in Sunflower Lane.
But yes, well, thank y'all for tuning in. Big shout out to Tone as well too, and the whole TDR network and everything that's playing with that. But catch us in about a month for season 3, and we are out.
Deuce, deuce.
Man, I've been